Facebook friends, and welcome to another edition of Humane Heroes. And today is Humane Heroes Spay Neuter USA Day. And we got Jonesy here. He is our special guest, and he's going to hopefully help us and be part of today's presentation throughout the entire program. Jonesy was adopted from here about 4 or 5 months ago, and he was neutered here. So he's a perfect example of a healthy, happy pet. And today we have Dr. Young joining us. She is one of our on-staff veterinarians.
Hi.
Hi. And we're going to be discussing the importance of spay and neutering your pet. So let's get started. So let's start off, when my doggy is born, or kitty, when would be a good age to have my dog or cat spayed or neutered?
Yeah, so you can actually start as early as 2 months of age. Typically, we're recommending kind of around 4 to 5 months of age.
All right. And some of the benefits of spay and neutering your pet, I hear maybe it helps them live longer?
Yeah, so there's definitely health benefits for that. So with the females, we're always worried about them getting things like uterine infections. They can get mammary tumors, ovarian tumors, a lot of bad things that we don't want our little ones to have. For male dogs, same thing. They can get prostatic infections, they can get testicular cancers. So by altering them, by spaying and neutering them, we take that off the table, okay, and really decrease the chances of them getting those things happening to them.
Awesome, that's awesome. So I hear a neutered pet or a spayed pet is happier at home, and why is that?
Yes. So let's talk about that. So it can help with behavior, some behavior issues. Particularly, we'll see that with the male dogs. Okay, so with male dogs that are altered or neutered, they're less likely to wander, get out, have bad things happen, like they can get out, get hit by cars, these bad things if you don't want them to have happening. Also with things like urine marking, okay, a lot of that is hormonally driven. So by neutering them, we decrease that a lot. So you'll often see a decrease in that, and they'll just be more calmer, less likely to be as aggressive. It's not a guarantee when we're neutering for behavioral issues, but it definitely helps, always the first step with that.
So, great. So it helps with certain types of cancers. It helps them from wandering and maybe getting hit by a car. And maybe if your girl dog or kitty goes wandering away, they come back, and then 2 months later you may have a unwanted litter.
Yes, exactly. Of course, in the shelter world here, we see so many, stray puppies and kittens coming through. Actually, right now we're going to be coming up on kitten season soon. A lot of stray and unwanted pets roaming. So by altering them, we don't have to worry about that as much. It really can decrease that population for sure.
Okay, and you mentioned something about marking, so an unneutered kitty increases that? Or?
Yes. So with male cats, that urine spraying and marking is definitely a thing for them. Same thing, by neutering those kitties, we definitely decrease the hormones and decrease the chances of them doing that.
Okay, somebody told me that if I spayed my dog, the chances of her gaining weight could be an issue. Is that true?
So yes and no. So after we spay the female dogs, their hormones do kind of readjust. So sometimes you do see a little bit of weight gain right after. But easy thing to combat with, just adjust the feeding. Their body's not going to need as much calories after they've been spayed. So a lot of times owners aren't aware of that. Hey, we just need to adjust the calories since activity level and metabolism changes a little bit for them too.
And so spaying or neutering your pet, you can do it at any age, or?
No, really. Of course, as long as there's no other health issues that would cause some problems. But yes, spaying, neutering definitely can happen at any age. Okay.
And I also hear that you could maybe spend not spend as much money in the long run. And why would that?
Yeah, I think that's just it's all of the kind of stuff we talked about before, just preventing all these things. We've brought up the example of the puppy getting out and then having some kind of trauma happening to them. If they're less likely, prevention is key, right? They're less likely to wander and something bad happen, not getting, cancer later on, and racking up those veterinary bills later on. So again, something simple as just spaying neuter early on can actually prevent a lot of things happening later on. Yeah.
And I know this next topic, you probably touched on it a little bit earlier, but something that's near and dear to our hearts because we work in an animal shelter. Yeah. So you know, how many animals can we house here on a daily basis, you think?
How many can we house here?
We can have like around 106, 200 animals or so, but when it hits that overcrowding point, we have to start doubling up sometimes, and we try to get them into fosters if we can. So it really helps with like calming down that overcrowding that shelters often experience, especially in Southern California where we are and we service so many cities. We have a lot of animals that we're looking to rescue. So we want to make sure that we can do whatever we can to keep room in the shelter for animals that are lost, neglected, that really, really need that shelter space.
Correct. And I know last year we did over probably like 400 what I call unwanted newborn kittens, but luckily we had foster parents that wanted them and were able to care for them, that took in a huge strain off our shelter here as far as the controlling population.
I have a question. I've heard that cats can have a crazy number of kittens in a 7-year span. About how many kittens can one unspayed cat have in around a 7-year span, let's say?
Yeah, so cats actually don't, they can continually breed, so they don't have seasons of breeding, so to say. So it's estimated up to the thousands, maybe even 45,000, I think, and if you're going to count the 7-year span, so that's a lot of cats.
5,000 kittens from one cat are possible from a 7-year time span.
Yes, so a lot.
Someone here, Roberta, says that she would love to adopt a pug. So this pug, Jonesy, was adopted from here. We do sometimes have pugs. So if you keep an eye on our website, IVHSanimals.org, you can keep an eye to see if we have any pugs coming in at any time.
So quick, what is the difference between a spay and a neuter?
Oh, yes. So spaying is what we do to alter the female. So we remove their whole reproductive tract, both their ovaries and their uterus. Neutering is the term for the males, where we remove their testicles, basically. So they are both going to be sterile, not reproduce.
And so how many surgeries do you think we perform here on average on a daily?
Yeah, so daily average right now is probably about 20 to 30 surgeries
a day.
Yeah, and that's cats and dogs, boys and girls. We are probably going to ramp up pretty soon here in the next couple months with kitten season coming up. We get up to maybe 50 to 60 even a day, depending on what's coming through.
Jonesy loves Rob over here, doesn't he?
So a female will no longer go into heat. So once she's stayed, okay, that's a huge benefit. And then there's benefits to the community because your doggy and kitties aren't wandering around, and the chances of them getting picked up by animal control are because we're not
chances of them getting hit by a car, having to end up in emergency care, then ending up at a shelter. That whole cycle can be prevented if an animal is spayed or neutered. If there's a chance of them resisting the urge of needing to wander because they no longer have that when they've been spayed or neutered oftentimes.
Right.
And can the lifespan of a pet increase, or so they say, if they've been spayed or neutered?
Yes. And the reason why the studies say that is, again, just because we're preventing a lot of these preventable diseases, that their life can be cut short if they do get those mammary cancers later on, or testicular cancers later on, that does cut down their life expectancy. So that's why that number is by spaying and neutering, then they can live a longer, happy life.
And again, if they don't have the urge to leave the house and wander, get into fights as much with other male dogs, let's say, then that also helps increase their lifespan because they've now stopped needing to go out there and be as aggressive.
Yeah. So I think Mark from Diamond Bar has a question. He's saying, but my dog is so special, I want another one just like him.
Glorious, and so
Jonesy is Jonesy wants Rob to hold him.
Yeah, no, that is
there you go, buddy.
Jonesy's a hyper guy.
Yeah. So yes, as special as they are, I think the benefits of neutering still, outweigh that, and especially here at the shelter. We get so many other really awesome dogs coming through. At the same time, you can really neuter at any time too. So, some will do that where they let their male dog have litter, and then still.
neuter them
afterwards. So.
Yeah, and I hear that there's really no guarantee that offspring will inherit those fabulous traits.
True. Yes. That is true.
All right. And does anybody else have any questions out there?
Yeah, we have one question. Did we touch on what age kittens or puppies can be fixed at?
Yeah. Here as early as 2 months. Actually, we start altering them as early as 2 months here. But on average, I say we're usually saying about 4 to 5 months of age.
Got it. And shelters are required to fix a pet before they adopt it out. So if you adopt from a shelter, which you should, adopt, don't shop, it is a requirement that the pet be fixed before it can be brought to your home. And that's a requirement in the state of California. So
what is the average cost of spaying and neutering your pet? Because for a lot of people that is a huge issue, cost, and I know that we offer some programs here at the shelter.
Yes, we do. We do have the Big Meow project going on still. So that's to help out with our cat spays and neuters, and I believe it's still about $40 for that, which is really awesome because it doesn't not only covers the surgery but also the microchip, which is also something new this year that pets need to be microchipped as well. So that's covered in there along with vaccines and flea treatment. So that's
all covered in the adoption fee. And we do have special adoption promos often. We have one coming up for the month of March. We'll be posting on our social media soon, so keep your eye out for that. Laura is asking, is it safe for an 8-year-old small house dog to be spayed?
Yes. So, I always say this: age is not a disease. Okay, so 8 years old, you're putting her at kind of middle age. Still has a lot of good years. So as long as the dog doesn't have any other health issues, otherwise healthy, I would still recommend it. I still do see health benefits there.
Do you recommend blood work for a dog of that age?
I do, because at 8 years old, we're starting to worry, could other things be coming up, and blood work's a great way to start looking for those.
Awesome, great. Any other questions out there that we could help answer today?
Any other questions from our viewers? Not that I see. I think we're good. If you do have any other questions, you can always leave them in the comments below, and we will answer them and respond back to you. So thank you so much for joining us. Jonesy, do you see him peeking out right there? Jonesy was neutered here because he was adopted from here, and he's doing great. Look at him. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone.